Okay, so I'm not gonna make one of those videos telling you that AI is gonna make you a ton of money. And right now it's pretty obvious, like AI is taking over pretty much all business models, but that does not necessarily mean that AI is gonna make you rich. It just means that AI could make you very, very poor. Now, copywriters, short form content agencies, most of these business models that you always hear about and that are always being shilled to you are going downhill very, very quickly. And that's kind of the ironic part, because you might be hearing a lot of gurus telling you otherwise. And as ironic as it is, it's because one of the only business models that's actually going to survive this whole AI thing are the course sellers, the gurus, info products. People that are selling the info products that are gonna win from all this, because they can be using AI to their advantage, and then they could also be using AI in their business model and shilling that to you and saying how you can use AI. And there's all these new AI offers. I'm already seeing AI copywriting offers pop up, because it's pretty obvious that ChatGPT and all these AI writing tools are just gonna completely replace copywriters like that. That one's an obvious one, but really it's gonna happen to every business model. Now, I'm already seeing all these offers pop up, and really it's for good reason, okay? And to put it simply, the info product game is just unmatched. It's like nothing else. I mean, it has nearly 100% profit margins, literally 100% profit margins, aside from 8 to 10% of a closer. There's no physical products, no inventory, no shipping costs, no logistical bullshit. I mean, it's practically a pure profit business model. It's as close as it gets. Now, you've probably seen a rise in these AI info offers that gurus are pushing, and I absolutely did as well, and I wanted a piece of the pie. But the thing is, there's one very important thing that many people overlook when it comes to this business model, and when it comes to info products or courses or whatever you want to call them. And that is that people have this idea that it's very easy to sell a course or sell an info product. And I think a lot of that is just because you see so much of it. But in reality, making the course, that's the easy part. And I think that's what people see, and that's why they think this business model is very, very easy. And don't get me wrong, it's very easy to put together a course, okay? But in 2025, to sell one is very, very, very fucking difficult. And that's mostly because of all these AI automation scams, all these different business models that people have tried and trusted and they gotten scammed or some bullshit has absolutely run info products into the ground, and it just has everyone's fucking scam detector up at max. So info products are not going anywhere. They're always going to be around. I mean, look at what WAP just did, taking on Iman Gadzhi as a co-owner. Info products are massive. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, but the way in which they are sold is always changing, and it's always getting harder. And there's really one thing that you have to do in this day and age if you want to have a successful info product. And that is the fact that people are never really buying into the info product. They're not buying. It doesn't matter how flashy the business model is. It doesn't matter what fucking AI shit they put on it. It doesn't matter if it's as flashy as AI. It doesn't matter what the business model is, how great the opportunity is. What it really comes down to is they are not buying into the info product. They are buying into the creator, aka the guru. That's what they're buying. Let me give you kind of an example here. So hopefully this camera is nicely positioned. So let's say the year is 2010, and you run into someone in a coffee shop and they're telling you about Bitcoin. Move this down a little bit. They're telling you about Bitcoin. They're saying all this stuff about how it's going to be the new currency, how it's going to replace the US dollar, how it's going to take over the world, all this stuff. And the truth is that, that person's a nobody, okay? You've never heard their name, you don't know them, you've never seen their face before, they've never been right in the past. There's nothing that tells you they know what they're talking about. Even if that person gives you all the right information and puts you onto Bitcoin right at the perfect time before it fucking 100,000 X's or whatever it did, you wouldn't have believed them, and you certainly wouldn't have bought Bitcoin. I mean, if you did, it wouldn't have been very much. Whereas if it was Warren Buffett that you met in that coffee shop, and you ran into him in 2010 in a coffee shop, and he tells you to buy Bitcoin before you've ever heard him say anything about it publicly, then you're gonna buy that shit, and you're probably gonna buy a lot of it, because you know that Warren Buffett is rich as fuck, he's been right in the past, and he probably knows what he's talking about because he's worth 100 billion something dollars, okay? So the point is, even if the opportunity is the exact same, even if the information you're getting is the exact same, even if it's just as great of an opportunity, even if the business model is just as great, at the end of the day, no one's gonna buy a course or an info product unless they're buying into the person. They have to trust in the person. That's the product, is the creator, is the guru. That's the product. That's what sells an info product. It is the personal brand and the face behind it. So now the question is, what does the creator actually need to have in order to have a successful info product? What needs to be part of their brand? So it comes down to a few things. The first thing is obviously they need to be active on all their social media. So their face needs to be seen often. They need to be seeing it on fucking Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It needs to be everywhere. The person buying needs to be nurtured by constantly seeing their face on all platforms. Aside from that, they need to give genuine value for free. They can't gatekeep all of it. There's so many people that are like, oh, I don't want to give this out though. I want to put all in my course. Like, put all the sauce out there. The thing is, most people aren't going to take action, even if you provide all the value. Like, look at my YouTube channel. I put so much shit on there. You think like anyone watching these videos is even doing close numbers to me? Like, most people are going to watch it and not actually do shit. That's the thing. Aside from that, they need a clean, solid reputation. They can't be known as a scammer, except maybe like Jordan Belfort, obviously, if like your whole persona is being a scammer. But if it's just a random creator, they can't have a bad reputation, can't be known as a scammer. The most important thing is they need to have evidence of authority. They need to have some sort of proof of success. So whether that's, obviously most gurus, how you see it is in the form of lifestyle. Like, I'm kind of proving my authority right now just by being in my crib, showing this nice view and everything. You need some sort of authority, because if I'm sitting in my room in my mom's house and I'm talking about how to get rich, who the fuck is going to listen to me? There's absolutely zero proof that I know what I'm talking about. But if I'm in this nice crib, I've got a nice watch on, like, I have some proofs. I have social proof. You look at my social medias, you see all the crazy stuff I do in my lifestyle. I have proof that I do make money. And that's the most important thing. Everyone wants to hate on lifestyle and the flashiness and all of that because, like, oh, you're renting a Lambo to sell a course, whatever. That's what everyone says. Like, at the end of the day, you have to show people that, you have money. Otherwise, no one's going to believe that you're going to be able to teach them how to make money if they can't tell you have any in the fucking first place, obviously. For most of you guys, out of that list I just went over, you probably aren't doing any of those things. And I was pretty much in the exact same position. And bear with me here, because I'm not about to tell you to like start a personal brand or something. But the problem is building a brand and a following to the point where people will trust you with their money and spend thousands of dollars on an info product with you literally takes years to do. Like, if you look at my YouTube channel, like, I've been building this for, over a year now, and you can see I still only get a couple thousand views on my YouTube. I'm still very underground, and for that reason, you're getting this sauce early. I haven't heard anyone else really say this stuff, but what's the solution? So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of growth operating by now, also known as IPGA. Essentially, it's just where you partner with a creator, you build them out the infrastructure, you build out the back-end systems for their info product, and then you sell it to their audience and you get a percent for just running the whole thing. So you might have heard of this business model before. You might have heard of like the shitty version of it, which is basically you make a school group, you take 50%. That shit does not work. This is my version of it, okay? You're providing a very valuable service. You're handling pretty much all the back end, and the whole point is you're just allowing the creator to focus on marketing entirely. You're taking the entire back end of the info product off their back so they can just completely focus on marketing. That's the point of the service. And it's just a great fucking partnership. Now, this business model cannot be run like an agency, okay? This cannot be run like a copywriting agency, not a short form agency. This is not like any of these things that I just told you AI is completely taking over. You can't run this business like this. It's a business model where it's an all-in-one service. You're handling the entire back end. The creator's bringing in the leads. It is literally a business partnership. You are their business partner. They are not an agency client. If you try to run it that way, you're gonna get fucking steamrolled because there's guys like me treating these creators like I'm their business partner, and they're never gonna find that anywhere else. Now, there's really two components of this business model that you need to be aware of. So the first component is landing a creator in the first place, which is arguably the hardest part. Obviously, you have to get a fucking creator, which, the whole point of this business model is you're partnering with people that have the marketing down. They have flow of leads, they have a following, they have people that want to buy from them. All you're doing is building out an info product for them, building out all the back-end systems, running the whole thing so that they can sell it to their audience. But the whole point is you're partnering with someone that has the marketing taken care of. That's the first part. That's obviously the hardest part. And then the second part of this is scaling the info product. So actually building everything out, scaling it, which I think is the easier part, to be honest, because most of it is just like a week, getting everything set up, launching it. Then after that, it's mostly just maintenance, keeping everything moving, communications, maybe minor tweaks to the funnel. But most of it is getting the creator in the first place. All right, so here's what I want to show you real quick. Let me set this down. So hopefully this will focus on my laptop. Now, I've got two videos going over this entire thing, two like full funnel videos, absolute sauce. But here's what I want to show you real quick. So the first thing is obviously the actual creator itself, landing the actual creator. Again, I have this full massive guide going over all of it, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details. You can check it out on my YouTube. I'll like link it in the corner. But essentially what you're doing, I get pretty much all my creators from cold outreach. So I'm literally outreaching on Instagram, sending cold DMs. I show how to set up the account nicely and everything. Sending cold DMs, doing a tripwire strategy, initial DM, pitching them, sending a Loom video, getting them on a call, and closing them. And then after that, the next step is going to be obviously setting everything up. But really, this is the hardest piece of the puzzle, is doing the outreach and actually landing a solid creator in the first place, because you have to convince them that you are trustworthy enough, and that, obviously with me, it's a lot easier because I have all this social proof on my YouTube and everything. But for someone else, it's very, very difficult to show this level of social proof. And then on the other hand, once you actually have it built out, it comes to actually launching the offer. So again, I have another video on this, all the back end when it comes to launching the offer, creating the offer, setting up the landing page, the group if it's a community, the entire sales sequence I use. So literally every single step, if they convert, if they buy, if they don't buy, how the follow-ups work. I have a full massive guide on this, so definitely check this out. I literally have so much sauce on YouTube just for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, it's pretty in-depth. Now, I don't want you guys to look at this and be intimidated by this business model by any means, but don't get me wrong. This is not an easy business model. This is not a fucking copywriting. I can't sell this business model like Cardinal Mason sells copywriting and say, yeah, you spend 10 minutes writing 2 emails every day and you get paid $8,000. I mean, realistically, it's not that easy, but there's no way for me to make this business model look that easy. It's a lot of fucking work. There's a lot that goes into it, but fuck do you get paid if you do it right. How does this business model compare to something like copywriting? Going back to what I was saying in the beginning, the whole thing with AI and copywriting, how does this business model compare? So the problem with agencies is that it's an impossible rat race. It's a constant hamster wheel, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know about it. I've made a video on this before. But growth operating is not run like an agency. It's not you close a client on a 2K retainer, then you get one on 1K, and then one leaves you, and then it's this constant rat race, and you can never even get above 10K per month. Like, it is so familiar. I'm sure a lot of you guys are even familiar with it. But this business model is not that way at all. You need maybe 1, 2 creators. I don't charge any percent. I don't take an upfront, I don't charge any retainer. I don't take an upfront. I strictly charge a percent. I strictly take a rev share, and that's my opinion. I think retainers are completely bullshit. And my honest opinion is, why would you charge upfront for a service? Why would you charge a monthly retainer if you know they're going to make money? The whole point is I'm only reaching out to creators that I know are going to make a shit ton of money. I know I'm going to make a ton of money running an info product for them. So why would I not just go for as high of a percentage as possible? That's my personal thoughts on it, and I don't really understand why you would do otherwise unless you think, maybe it's not going to make money. And now besides that, I shouldn't even have to say this, but obviously growth operating can't be replaced by AI. Not like copywriting where you can literally ask an AI to write a fucking email for you and it will do it. This is nothing like that whatsoever. Building out these funnels, setting all this up, this is not something AI could ever fucking replicate. And that's really the biggest thing with this business model is you're safe from anything like that. And really, there's so many ways to use AI to your advantage because copywriting is a piece of this business model. Why would you sell copywriting as a separate service? Why would someone pay thousands of dollars a month for a copywriter when a growth operator will handle absolutely everything and just take a percentage? It makes absolutely no sense. That's why every creator is now starting to work with a growth operator. Everyone's switching because it just makes the most fucking sense. And these creators want a partner to scale their brand with and do that entire thing. And like I was saying, to be completely honest with you guys, this business model is not insanely hard. Now, when I say that, I want to be very careful with how you guys perceive it. What I mean by that is once the info product is launched, obviously getting the creator, all that's hard. Once it's launched though, once you have the info product out there, the whole point is it starts making money immediately because you're selling it to an audience that already exists. There's people that already want to buy. So it starts making money instantly. That's the whole point. Now, the only other thing I mentioned is after you launch it, you have small tweaks here and there. You have to communicate with the creator like a partner, like I said. But once everything's set up, everything's moving, you have sales teams hired, then that's really it. There's not that much more that goes into it. I just realized I've been looking at the little screen the whole time and not the camera. Hopefully it doesn't look fucking bad on the video. But now obviously the final part I want to get into, and this is obviously the hardest part, which is finding a qualified creator to work with in the first place. Now, I've built my brand with all my case studies and my results and everything on my YouTube, my Instagram, to where it's not really hard for me anymore. I land all these creators through outreach, just purely through my socials. I just shove my social proof in every single creator's face, so there's no way for them to avoid it. They have to look at my social proof, my results, my testimonials, and that's how I'm able to land creators like that. So that being said, I am currently looking for operators, okay? I do not have the capacity to take on all of these creators completely myself, so I'm looking for operators to essentially help me launch and run the back end of these creators. So with that said, I'm literally saying, I will give you a creator. You are literally going to speed run this business model straight into launching a creator's offer, straight into making money. That's how I run this, and I need other people to help me run the back end. And really the best part is I only work with pre-existing established audiences buyers that are ready to buy. So once it's launched, like I said, it's gonna start making money immediately, and it's about staying on top of it, communicating, managing it, tweaking it, everything like that. It just needs to be run like a partnership. That's who I'm looking for. We will set up everything together one-on-one on calls and launch it. Again, I like to run this entire thing like a partnership with my mentees and with the creators. So with that being said, I'm specifically looking for someone that can go all in on this and treat it like their main thing, not like a side hustle. You can't do this while you're doing fucking drop shipping. You need to be 100% certain this is the business model you want to do, and you also need to be certain that I am your guy you want to do it with. So that's specifically what I'm looking for, and I need someone to help me run these creators like a proper partnership. That is why I need you. If I could run this by myself and run dozens of creators, then I absolutely would, and I would be a lot richer, but obviously that's fucking impossible, and I always tell you guys, you should be working with like 1, 2, maybe 3 creators max. That's kind of where it gets to be too much. So like I said, if you want a guaranteed creator, I will literally give you a creator and we'll run it up together. I'm looking for people that can help me on the back end. So if you're interested, fill out the type form below and we'll see what we can do. Anyhow, guys, if you enjoyed the video, I hope you got some value from it. And like I said, don't go with these fucking AI bullshit, whatever. Go with a business model that's gonna make you a lot of money and that can't get replaced. And I personally like growth operating. Check out all the other videos on my YouTube. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.